Bobby. Thank you for joining us again for our regular session every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, where you take your immigration questions live on YouTube and let's see, Instagram, various YouTube channels, TikTok, and one more on LinkedIn. So we're happy to come here live in all these different places for you to ask your questions. The best place to do it on YouTube. But hey, we'll take it to all the places. On TikTok, usually people ask the same question a million times. We mute those, so don't do that. Having said that, let's get it started. All the information provided here is intended for not intended as individual legal guidance. We're here for general kind of conversations. Try not to ask about timelines because I don't have good answers for those. But having said that, let's get the program started as the questions start coming in. Hello, Raquel. Thanks for joining us on TikTok and everyone else who's coming in, popping in right now. I always says, can I ask a question? Yeah, just shoot out your questions as they come in. Let me fix the audio on here as well. Let me see how to do that. While the questions come in, let me set up audio. I got this nice speaker and I got to turn it on. Let's see, audio, default, internal mic. No, US. There we go. And so hopefully that makes me sound a little warmer. We had the podcast on this on anywhere you can find podcasts. A recording of this is going to be up there too. And let's see what the questions are. So yeah, feel free to shoot out your questions and we'll see what we can do to answer them as they pop up. Miles asks, is it safe to stay 6 months out on advanced parole, parent of a U.S. citizen pending I-485? Advanced parole valid for 1 year. So technically it's not problematic. The main thing about advanced parole is that, you'll be able to return. And typically you could return if they approved it unless you have some sort of severe criminal history or something like that. So you want to know if it's okay. At the end of the day, it's up to the consular officer. But if the advanced parole period is valid and the case doesn't get denied or something like that, then it's probably okay. I can't say it's safe or 100%, but it's something we look into. It's something you got to risk to a certain extent. God Embassy says, can a lawyer speed up my case? Well, it depends on where your case is and where it is in the process for it to be sped up if possible. So some things can, some things can't. Some things we could try, but it's almost always up to the government how long they're going to take. So that's a very important thing to be aware of. And finally, the thing that a lawyer can do is that they can prepare a case much more strongly and efficiently and cleanly, so that's that'll speed it up. So you won't be missing certain things. Having said that, sometimes we'll send everything in the kitchen sink to the government, and they'll still come back and say we're missing something, even though we sent 5 copies of it. So generally, it's better to have a lawyer will speed up. A good lawyer will speed it up, but it doesn't always work out that way. Jada says, when should we expect interviews in Laos, Nigeria? It's longer than 10 months that you've been waiting. Now, unfortunately, people are waiting 1 or 2 years easily. And for Nigeria to get the immigrant visa interview, it's pretty disastrous. Sorry about that. Munder, good to see you again. Good to see you. Can we please give John a miraculous gift and stop with stupid online questions? Well, it's okay. It's okay. I haven't started up yet, so I'm sure we'll get a bunch of those. Miles follows up. I've never worked before or filed taxes. Always supported by my parents. When filing for my parents using a co-sponsor, do I send the tax documents for the co-sponsor myself? Well, you should send. It depends on the case. So you definitely need the joint sponsors tax documents. But if you have zero income, you need to fill out the affidavit of support to say you had zero income. If you had some income or tax filing is required, then you need to submit it. So it depends on your personal financial situation. Mario asks, what's the process to expedite I-130 petition? You call USCIS and tell them you need to expedite and give a reason. Ozzy says, some people send emails to state secretaries to the White House. Does that really speed up the process? No, very unlikely that'll do anything. Joel says, hello, John. Please, is it common practice tip your lawyers when the case succeeds? No. I mean, I've had clients do that. Why not send money? But there's not a common practice to send a tip at all. What you could do is really nice is just leave them a good review on Google or Yelp, wherever it is. That's even more than that's really helpful. And, if you guys find information here, go to Google, type in JQK Law, and just put 5 stars. I mean, that's worth $1,000 right there because it really helps out. But tips, no, shouldn't be expected. 984 says, if I applied for my wife to come to U.S. in 2024, I'm a U.S. citizen, how long will it take? Well, it'll probably take a year to get the I-130 petition approved. Then depending on what embassy they're from, it could be 3 months to 3 years to get them the visa. So it could be, I don't know, a year and a half to 4 years. It could be all over the place. Miles says, so if I never had any income, I just submit the no tax documents. I can't, Miles, get into details how to prepare a specific application because I'm not a lawyer in the case. I have to cut it off right there as to how much I could advise on this. But generally, it seems fixable the way you're doing it, but I can't say because I'm not a client. I'm not allowed to give individual legal guidance in a public forum like this. How long is I-6 taking? A long time. It could be, years. Toya says, my children are 21 case just got approved. They're in Jamaica. How would I have, and I don't see the rest of the question. Chis says, my I-130 filed 2 years and also DQ since last May, but didn't receive interview date. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but you probably have to just wait for their time to come. Bombat says, my J1 waiver is pending for more than 15 months. Can I apply for a green card? I need a work permit. So to be able to file for a green card, if you have a J1 2-year home residency requirement, you have to get the approval from the Department of State first. If you don't have that, I would not file for adjustment of status. 15 months seems like a long time. I don't know what the basis of your J1 waiver is, but if it's like embassy waiver, those are getting done around 8 months or 6 to 8 months right now. Chris Marr says, my brother petitioned for his fiance visa and it was approved by USCIS, said they couldn't deliver the acceptance for fiance visa. What should we do? I don't know what that means. They couldn't deliver the acceptance. I don't know. Schedule private consultation. We talk about it. I never heard of that before. Bakir says, I responded to notice of intent to revoke in February. Now case in process again. Can I now send supporting documents and fill all requirements? I don't know. You had intent to revoke. You submitted. Now you want to send required documents. I don't understand how that's possible in cases of denied. So that's something you should schedule a private consultation to talk about. Kike says, hi, good afternoon. Can I still apply for PIP if I was arrested as a minor and the case is sealed? We don't know the exact rules for parole in place and what the limitations are. So I don't want to advise them. The government still hasn't given us the official rules. Plus, we need to see what the arrest was for. The U.S. Immigration Office does not accept sealed or like cleaned up records. It doesn't matter to them. So you're going to need to have good records of that. Hopefully, they haven't been deleted or destroyed or something like that. Bakir says, I-130. I don't know because you said you documents. I forgot all requirements. I'm not sure what that means to put it together. You got to schedule a private consultation back here, Nuffy. So we got to see what's going on in your case. Arena says, can I apply to expedite my green card application to get my green card quicker? You can always try it. Probably not going to work, but you give it a shot. Sarah says, is Northern Ireland classified as UK when it comes to visiting from US? I think so. But then again, for the document for the green card lottery, I was reading this the other day. I think Northern Ireland is considered part of Ireland. So I'm not really sure. But when we have Northern Ireland cases, we put that as UK cases. Our friend Kokabi says, hello, sir, dear John. How long do I-90s take? My lady's case for some 2021 not arrived yet. Should we correspond? Keep waiting. Honestly, they're taking between 3 months to 2 years on average. So 2021, you should contact them. It's probably outside processing times right now. Contact them, see what's going on. But it's horrible. I-90 is a green card renewal. If you lost your green card and need to extend a 10-year one, and it's something that really should take 2 days. But we have cases where it takes 2 years, and the gentleman I know is taking more than 2 years. It's pretty ridiculous. It's very frustrating. I'm sorry to hear that news. Munder says, hi, John, an upcoming LPR. I'd want to naturalize under a 5-year rule ASAP. First 2 years, I'll be visiting U.S. once a month with a reentry permit so I don't break the 6-month absence rule. Then after 2 years, I'll stay full 3 years, complete physical presence. Can I naturalize without broken? So your repeated absences could be an issue, but it will be up to the officer dealing. You'll probably get approved, but it's going to go to their discretion. RuPaul says, please join One Click Immigration as a platform I can help. Okay, I don't endorse that. I don't know who this person is. It's not really cool to come and plug your stuff here, but there's what it is. Okay, so Miss Wilco says, if a spouse is on SSD, what other financial support can you use for immigration interview? Well, it's not for the interview. It's for the affidavit support. SSD could potentially be used. We got to see what's going on there. Okay, Miss Wilco. Evelyn says, I have a green card for 2 years and 9 months based on marriage. Can I apply for citizenship? You may have the basics if you've been living with your spouse 2 years and 9 months after getting the green card as a U.S. citizen. But I don't know. I can't say for sure with your case. I don't know enough about your family and your personal life. Mr. Khan, hello, officer told me you got your green card after 3 weeks, 8 weeks. I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Asan says, I'm in the U.S. I didn't sign any document at the airport. Is it okay? I'm not sure why you need to sign documents at the airport. Zamora says, is it still possible for my wife to not get accepted even if I'm in the military? I don't know your case to be able to say if you can or cannot. Too much information is needed. Cassie says, my marriage I-130 has been saying case was received since May and not updated to biometrics. Yeah, you got to wait. May is not too long ago. Angel, I have a conditional green card. What would happen if I divorced my spouse? You can still keep the green card. You got to apply for a waiver of the joint filing requirement and have evidence of relationship. Angel, we do these cases regularly. Contact our office, jqklaw.com/contact. We'll analyze it, but it's a typical case we file. The key is, again, having documentation of your relationship and have to see what happened, why you're separating, all that. Maybe do a personal statement, those kind of things. Baby Mindy's Cloud says, what can I do about 3-year silent interview decision pending? You can sue them. That's one thing for delay. Abhishek, hi, from green card to getting citizenship, how much time does it take now? It depends on what kind of green card you're applying for and basis of citizenship. So once you have your green card, it can easily be 5 years for most cases to apply for citizenship. but there's just too many variables in this loose-ended question, so I can't answer that. Michelle says, can I marry with the J1 visa and my grace period and then staying here? Yeah, you can file for the green card if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Green card holder, marriage to green card holder might be problematic. And but the main thing is, do you have a 2-year home residency requirement or not? How much is asylum approval rate for Afghans? I don't keep track of approval rates, and I don't keep track of asylum. In particular, approval rates don't make a difference. It's just each case is different, so it's not a good way to look at it. Tish says, what if I get divorced before the 2 years? I sent a newsletter today about this situation. Actually, it's kind of a different situation, but Tish, you could keep your green card. You just have to file for a waiver of the joint filing requirement form I-751. As I was telling another person earlier, we do these cases. Contact us at jqklaw.com/contact. We'll schedule a consultation to talk about it. SUSA, do you do asylum case for Afghans and how much? No, we don't do asylum cases at all. Mr. Khan says, hello, officer. We answered that. Is he reading like live comments or what? Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. Mr. Khan, how can I apply for an approved disability? What do I need to do? We don't handle disability situations, just immigration. Even immigration, we don't handle disability exceptions, so we can help you on that. Can you explain matter of Kelantan to me? So if you want to apply for a green card in the United States, you have to have some sort of lawful admission or parole for 245 base adjustment, family base usually. And so they made this special rule in this case. They said if the officer at the border told you just come in and didn't look at your documents and just let you in, and then they could potentially just say you're admitted lawfully in, so that satisfies the requirement of lawful entry. That's what matter of Kelantan's about. Kaiki says, hi, good afternoon. Can I still apply for parole in place? We answer that question. Please don't ask the same questions over again or else we need to mute you. Gloria says, been together for 12 years. We never got married. Missed the June 17th date. Anything else we could do? I mean, you could do the long way around and getting a waiver. That's unfortunate that happened. Toya says, my children are 21 case just got approved. They are in Jamaica. We already answered that question. I don't know. I can't talk about timelines, especially if I don't know the case. Emron says, is it risky to travel with refugee travel document if your green card is pending through asylum? It's always risky to travel. If you get on a plane, it's risky. It might crash. So I can't answer riskiness questions. What if I came across the border, got married, filed the paperwork, or 5 months now, no updates yet? Well, if you came across the border, you need to have lawful entry, so you may get denied. I don't know what's going on in your case, so I can't really advise. Can a parent on LPR apply I-130 for a married child and change the status when a parent becomes a U.S. citizen? It's probably not going to work out timing-wise. It's not impossible, but unlikely that that's going to work. Do you know how long it takes to get PIP approval? No, this program isn't even having it instated yet, so no one has any idea. No one's going to be able to answer that. If anyone does, they're lying. You're welcome, Kai. Anna says, hi, John. Filed I-130 in supplemental form. I-130, I believe there's a part where it says if spouse is overseas, not required to sign, but my spouse signed anyway. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're getting a lot of repeat questions. I'm getting to everybody's, but when you do repeat questions, it makes you lose people. So I will need to mute you if that happens on TikTok. Please don't do that. Snap says, hello, what are our thoughts about transferring case from Islamabad to other country? My case category is it's not possible. You have to, if you want to transfer your green card case to the embassy to another country, you either have to be living in that other country lawfully, or there needs to be some sort of exception. Like you're an Afghan, you could choose the embassy, or you're Iranian, you choose between Abu Dhabi and UAE, Turkey, or Armenia. So you can't just willy-nilly change it like that. Solomon, what should a guy coming to the U.S. with a B1, B2 visa do to stay in the U.S.? Which is the ways fastest? Potentially, you could start a small business, depending on what country you're from, E2 visa. If you have extraordinary ability, you can apply for a green card based on that. You may be married to a U.S. citizen, for example. You might have an asylum case. But there's not many options. Okay, let's see. We're getting, okay. Sorry, we're going to start muting people for being rude. And, okay. Mr. Khan. Okay, I'm going to mute a bunch of people right now. That's just making it hard to keep track of what's going on. Okay. All right, let's get back into it. Palestinian son who petitioned for his mother, who she overstayed her visa. Lawyer files I-130 process time. So if a son petitions for a mother, there's no need for a 601 if she came in with a visa, meaning overstayed. If 601, if there's other fraud issues or something, you do that. But you don't need a 601 waiver if the mother entered the U.S. and overstayed, unless they overstayed left the U.S. So I don't know. Your question is missing key information. Munter says, Dad was refused the B1, B2 in May, even though he's a permanent resident in Canada. Then went again today and overcame 240 to B. Thank God. Thank you, good sir. Love the Q&As. That's thankful. So thank you, Mother. Thanks for sharing that. So this gentleman, parent went to a tourist visa interview, got denied. They went back, 2 or 3 months later, and then got approved. It just shows the inconsistency of how the immigration department works. And that's why it's hard to say what's going to happen in any case, because you never know at the end of the day what they're going to be doing. Okay, let's go to some questions. Got some repeat people again. I'm gonna have to kick out. So sorry, we got another one kicking out. Okay, let's see. User 72. Mother is 70 plus, has a residency card. How does she get citizenship? She needs to apply for it. Chelsea, do you know how PLIP's going to take? No, I'm going to have to mute this too. Sorry, I'm muting a bunch of people on TikTok just because it makes it impossible to follow what's going on. When FBI fingerprints show if I had an expedited removal, it may or may not. What you want to do is get an OBIM request. The FBI is not going to be reliable. Keon says, hi, John. My wife's passport is currently with the U.S. Embassy in Montreal. Her status has been administrative processing for 4 months. Would it be okay if I ask the embassy to return the passport? Yeah, you can. Just say if you need it, you do it. Alone asks, let's see, let's ban somebody. This person is doing RuPaul. It needs to be okay. Report and spam. Okay, sorry, people are being rude in this close. Okay, Alone says, please let's see who can do now. 12-year green card expired and living abroad. And to schedule a private consultation, email the office or go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Murphy says, how long does it take to remove conditions on a green card based on marriage? 3 months to 3 years on average. User 8 says, can a U.S. citizen parent sponsor an adult child outside the U.S. who's in a wheelchair? Yeah, the wheelchair part doesn't make a difference. Bill says, please, I'm a green card holder. I filed for my children 19 and 14. How many years is it going to take? Right now, it's going to take 4 or 5 years. Alone Beauty, Mariam says, any solution? There may be, Mariam, but it's not appropriate part to talk about here. It's private, so I can refer you to a colleague that handles these, but you got to schedule a private consultation. Keon follows up. Yeah, Keon, I said you could ask for the passport back. That happens. Yeah. I'm sorry about the emergency. Ruby says, I want 30 marriage-based AOS. Do we need? So, Maria, I can't guarantee a solution, but if you want to talk and get some ideas of what's possible, what's not, because it's not up to me or any other lawyer who could do something like that. You got to talk with a professional. We can't just guess stuff based on a random thing on Instagram. We got to be realistic about all this kind of stuff. I want 30 says marriage-based adjustment. We need tax statements for a few years to file for AOS. You need the last one plus the information for the 2 months before that, last 3 years. Joy Boy says, does DUI disqualify me if I apply for PIP? Probably will, but we don't know exactly. We don't know the rules. It might be discretionary. New person says, we're in I-601 process now. Attorney says, do PIP. How are you thinking it still take longer? Yeah, do PIP. Why leave the country? Ali says, hey, sir, after winning the asylum, when can we apply for green card? Right now, it looks like immediately, but wait like 6 or 9 months and apply. Patrick says, I filed my marriage green card about 13 days ago. Still no receipts. Is that normal? There's no normal immigration. Sometimes receipts come in late. Sometimes it gets lost. Who knows? My SSN only had my social security number only had a week for case decision. Why did it get pushed back 3 months? I don't know about social security office. That's not something we do. When you give a medical for a green card, how long to get green card? They're unrelated. The medical doesn't have an effect on getting the actual green card. If you can't advise where you're here, Sim, we're giving information. I can't have an individual consultation. Why don't you just not follow? Alone Beauty says, okay, Paulie says, is it a bad idea to travel outside the U.S. with travel parole documents? If you need to travel and you have a clean case, then do it. But generally, if you don't have to, don't do it. Munter says, to add further context, my dad overcoming 214B. First time he didn't demonstrate any ties to home country. Make sure he does second time. Truthful and disclosure is important. Yeah, I mean, it's good that I disclose, but it's kind of obvious from the application from talking to dad. They should have just figured it out. But it's good that you got to give good information and just get it in there. Alone Beauty says, after RFE, how much time does it take adjustment approved after K1 visa? There's no specific timelines for these. Erica says, we answered that. Christiane says, does my sister have a chance to get a green card? She has her baby on a tourist visa, baby needs medical care. No, there's no green card for that situation. I'm sorry to hear that the child needs medical care. Polly says, USCIS asked me and my lawyer 3 times already to form G28, and then we submit, they approve, and then again. Yeah, the government is terrible at this stuff. You submit the same documents over and over again, and they don't add it appropriately. That's another reason why people say, never mind. I'm just going to say it's hard. We never know each case because you never know what the government's going to do. Every time is different. Jerome says, my I-485 was denied because the joint affidavit wasn't filled out correctly. Is it a big problem? Yeah, you got denied. So we got to see if you were filed or not, or appeal is appropriate. There's a deadline for that. Probably you need to refile. But for example, if your spouse is a green card holder and you haven't maintained status, there's no ability to refile. So it's a disaster in the day. You might have to spend $2,000 or $3,000 more now. So Jerome, that's why you got to, people, I did a video about this particular situation. A bunch of people said, oh, this lawyer's trying to steal money. People contact me all the time because they fill out the affidavit of support, which is one thing wrong, get denied. How much is a year of your time and $3,000 in fees and potential not being able to reapply, being deported worth? I'm not trying to scam people out of money. Just I constantly get people have these issues to contact me. The form is unnecessarily complicated. So I just got to keep it real. And I get this every day. So I'm just sharing there for what I see. And it just is what it is. Okay. El Latino says, hi, after approval notice, how long to receive the green card, EAD? I don't know, a week or two, depends on the post office, and maybe longer, maybe lost, who knows. New person says, we're in the process. We already answered that question. A lot of repeats. I'm applying for a T visa. Okay. Callie says, can I use I-94 that's not updated to apply for asylum? Asylum doesn't need an I-94. AMG says they revoked my citizenship. Can I apply again? I don't know why they revoked. This is a huge thing we got to analyze. Osman says, what is the next step after your asylum application approved by a judge in court and final hearing? You got to get the I-94 asylum and then file for a green card. My spouse's visa form I-130 is under review since July 27, 2023. It's not a visa form. It's a petition, and a 1 year waiting is not a big deal. I-601 case could take 4 years right now. Do you help with Canadian visas? No, we don't. We only do U.S. And it said, thank you so much. If we applied via consular processing for spousal green card, if final action date is not current on F2A, but date of filing is current, does that relate to me at all? Not really if you're overseas, unless you have a child and you want to lock in their age under the Child Status Protection Act. It's a whole other thing, which may or may not work. Embassies, I don't know how sure they're going to interpret it now, but that's if you have a child that's aging out over 21 or something like that, a very unique situation. Hi, sir. After winning this, okay, answer that. Sorry, there's a mosquito here, and I can't kill it in this room, and it's buzzing around my legs right now. I can feel it. So I'm sacrificing my legs to be in this live show. Not going to try to hunt this damn mosquito out. All right. So Ruby Red, I answered that. Jerome, we answered that. How long for TV? I don't have time. My question is how much to apply for I-130 case? I think the government fee is like $650 right now or something like that, or $630. Attorney fee, we got to see what's going on with their case. It'll be a couple $1,000, but schedule private consultation, jqqlaw.com/contact. Thomas says, good evening. I filed N400 in June. I sent final last year. How long you seeing timelines? It's going to be varied because timelines during election year is different than when you are. It's 3 months, 12 months, could be longer, could be faster. Jabs, you recommend paper filing? Online filing is a better file via mail, marriage green card. If you're doing adjustment of status, I would do all of it together by mail. How can I get citizenship? That's too wide-ranging a question. You got to get a green card first. User 6 days says, how much form I-130 be approved? It's been under review since, I don't know, usually a year. Could be a couple months more. MA says, my green card is damaged, but it's valid for 4 more years. If I request a replacement, will they send me a new 10-year green card, or will they just green card remaining 4 years? That's a good question. I can't remember. Probably remaining 4 years, but I had to deal with this once. I knew the answer, but I can't recall because it doesn't come up too often. I wouldn't bother, depending on how damaged it is, I wouldn't bother spending the money for a new one, unless it's really damaged. Callie says, can I use it? Okay. Neil says, my wife was caught for marriage fraud. Her passport has expired. She asked to get her one without buying. I'm not sure what you're saying, but when you're caught with marriage fraud, it's a bad situation and you can't do anything. User 75 mother. Okay, answer that. We got repeat questions again. Okay, I need to mute some people. I have time. Empress. Where is this? Empress. Okay, Empress says, immigration options for foreign mother who's citizen and child is medical U.S. I mean, they got to extend their tourist visa, but they got to find some other way. I'm not sure if anything's possible. I got to talk to them in private. Bakir says, my I-130 under process, notice of intent to revoke. Can I apply for humanitarian parole? And can I request for expedite request for Afghanistan? You could always apply for humanitarian parole if not in the U.S. and do expedite. You could always do these things. I'm not sure if it's going to get approved or not, though. Cat Mama says, my mother has been accruing a lawful residence. If her child becomes a U.S. citizen, she'll next 6 months. If your mother entered lawfully, Cat Mama, and has lawful admission evidence of that, a lawful presence doesn't make a difference if a U.S. citizen is applying for the parent, as long as the other requirements are satisfied. Ivan says, I had DACA, couldn't renew because I got a DWI. I'm about to get 15 months probation. Can get residency? We got to see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a parole in place is going to work. Residency is based on what? Potentially not an issue for residency if you have lawful entry and don't need parole in place or a waiver. There's a lot of loose ends to that one. So it's not we have to talk in private about it. Tunde says, I-765 work permit denied because of DSO error. Oof, I hate it when that happens. DSO admitted error with letter. Can I motion reopen? The school has to work with you on doing a reinstatement. But if the filing period is done, then most likely it's not going to happen. It's a disaster. I hate it when the schools do that. User 36 says, I'm on an F2 visa. Can I register LLC? Anyone could register a company. You just can't work on an F2 per se unless you have special permission for it. Royal Highness says, is it possible for me to practice tax law and immigration law? I don't know. Are you a lawyer? You can do whatever you want if you're a lawyer, but they're very different kinds of law, so it's kind of hard to do both. Darn it, this mosquito, I can just feel it walking on my legs. Okay, let's see. Barta says, if you come true in the border and don't have parole, can you marry U.S. citizen? You get married U.S. citizen, whether you get a green card is the next question. I don't know. Estella says, where's your office located? I'm in Los Angeles. I have associate Orange County, California. I have another one in Virginia, but our location doesn't matter. Everything we do is by phone, email, video, and that kind of stuff. Lola says, what are the main reasons for I-140 NIW RFE? There's questions about your background, probably. I mean, it depends on your background, but they don't satisfy one of the requirements, or something's missing, or they don't think you reached that level. Jay says, how long after you file can you get a receipt notice? Hopefully it's a week, but it could be longer. Woolkid says, I got married on K1 within 90 days and I filed for adjustment after 90 days. Is violation of non-immigrant status? No, it's okay. That won't be a problem. Just Bad says, I'm trying to bring my wife who lives in Saudi Arabia and I'm a Syrian citizen. What is the advice? I mean, a Syrian bring a Saudi to the U.S. I don't know. You U.S. citizen or a green card holder? I don't know what's going on. Being a Syrian citizen doesn't help for U.S. immigration. You're welcome, Cat Mama. Papa says, what happened if your I-693 is not going well? I'm not sure what that means. It's not going well. That's not that's official thing I could answer. Tunda says, thank you. You're welcome. Juliana, if a petition my ceiling, how long would it take for them to come to U.S.? We are from Ecuador, probably 15, 20 years. Liz Flores says, advanced parole taking longer for DACA recipients? No, just take a long time for everybody. Peston says, I've been waiting over 3 months now for my spouse's visa interview to see my wife. How long will it take again? There's no fixed time. It could be a year or 2 years sometimes. It could be 2 months. It could be 2 years. Do you help with E2s for Canadian? Yes, talkies. Contact us, jqqlaw.com/contact. Kyla, my mom's a green card holder. How long will it take for her petition? My minor brother. She could petition immediately, but for that case to be done F2A is going to take a couple of years right now. So again, Taki, email us or go to our contact page, jqqlaw.com/contact to schedule a consultation. DS says okay. So his Royal Highness says, have they stopped admitting people for the I-134A? They stopped the parole program for Venezuelans, etc. right now. Just best, I'm U.S. citizen, Syrian citizen. So if you're married, you can apply for your spouse, but it's going to take a while. Probably going to take 2 years or so. Would the F2 category speed up eventually? That's not up to me. It's up to the government. How early can TVs be processed? As soon as it happens, the issue happens. This force says, what age can you petition a spouse? There's no age requirement for spouse petitions, but probably at least 18. DS is better, but there's no age requirement for marriage cases. It has to be just the marriage has to be lawful in the jurisdiction that it's in, and then there's an affidavit support requirement where you have to be above a certain age, but you might be able to get joint sponsors. DS says, part 1 says, about 6 years ago, someone filed a complaint to the police department for simple assault. I voluntarily spoke with the police. No arrest was made. The case was exceptionally clear. There's no court record, but there's an accident report. We have to report this to F400. And 400 asks if you've been detained by the police. So if you just went and talked to them about being a witness, that's not being detained. So no, but I can't give individual legal guidance without seeing what's going on there and talk with you in private. User 448 asks, we're about to get finished. So we get to the last questions in there. User 448 asks, I've been waiting for my renewal work authorization about 5 months. Didn't get a receipt. What to do? Contact USCIS, see what's going on. What happens if you want to marry someone with a travel visa? You get married. The U.S. doesn't have really requirements on that. Can TPS holders go to college or university? Yes. Matt Stewart says, hi, John. My notice of intent to revoke is in process. I responded. Now can I send evidence? But in February, I already sent the answer. You can update the evidence potentially. I mean, you should have sent the evidence originally. You still might get denied, but that's too case specific. I want to say do this to do that because it can mess up your case and I'm responsible for it unless I'm really digging my hands into it. But it was a mistake not to send the required evidence when they asked for it. But that's something we got to have private consultation. I can't get that kind of individual legal guidance here. Chopa says, I did my marriage-based green card review 5 months ago. No reply was the meeting. I don't know. They maybe do an investigation. They may just have lost your file. I don't know. Alma says, I-751 VAWA responded to an RFE 75 days ago. Case was received any way to expedite it. You could call and expedite it, but I'm sure it's going to get approved. What's the reason to be expedited other than you want it done faster? Tadella asks, what about fiance visa? What about it? Chopa, we answer that question. Okay, we'll take 1 or 2 more questions. We'll call it a day. We're live on YouTube and let's see, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you want to contact us, just go to jqqlaw.com/contact. It's the best way to start. Ashish says, I am at green cards. I lodged a petition I-130 for my wife March 2023 and have a baby. Add later. Okay, what's the question? Ashish Mishra, you guys have to have questions, just statements don't help me build answers. So I'll take 1 more question. We're about to call it a day. We got a full flow of questions, not too many timeline questions, thankfully. So that was really good. Still have not heard back. Yeah, those cases are going to take years to finish, so they're not in any rush to approve them. And Haydar says, my case was migrated to ELIS. What does that mean?
They transfer it to the online system. It doesn't really have an effect. They may have updated the case number on it, but just go to our online system. We have a question about VAWA prima facie C9 EAD. Can I apply for K4 my child come over? If I got a prima facie and C9 EAD 5 years, can I apply for K4 if my child come over? For K4, you need to have a K3. And if you're already in the U.S., it doesn't. I don't know if your question doesn't make sense. Prima facie, that's really for VAWA case. I'm not sure what's going on. That also is about time taken. For K1, I went to 9F, probably 15 months. Getting an embassy appointment depends on the embassy, 3 months to 2 years. And once here, it could be 3 months to a year after marriage to get it. So it's all over the place. Not recommended usually to do a fiance visa. Waste of time and money for most cases, unless there's some sort of exception or something like that. That's why I talk to an attorney first that knows what they're doing. But I told you probably just get married to save the time and money. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. God bless. Be safe. And we'll see you all next Tuesday at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. We take your questions. Follow us on various social media. We do live pop-ups every once in a while. Take your questions. If you want to contact us directly, jqqlaw.com/contact. If you're doing a marriage or fiance case, download our guide first at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I realized there's some sort of glitch where if you type in www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com, won't work. Just have to type in marriageimmigrationlaw.com. This internet stuff is always a mess, but who knows? And that's that. Thanks so much. God bless. Be safe. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.